Hello everyone, in this video we're diving into Firebase Authentication in Angular to help you easily add login and sign up options to your app. We will style the interface using Angular material and Bootstrap to make it look polished and professional, as you can see. So the first part, we are going to start by setting up Firebase project and linking it to our Angular project. So in this part, we will create a new Firebase project and configure it specifically for authentication. We will walk you through setting up the Firebase services we need and then connect everything to our Angular app. By the end of this section, your project will be ready to handle Firebase authentication and will be able to set up and start building our login and authentication features. The first thing you need to do is to head over to firebase.google.com. Then from there, we're going to go to the console. If you don't have an account already, you will be asked to provide your information to open an account or a Gmail account. Then once you do that and configure your account, you will be able to see this welcome screen. So after that, you click on Get Started with Firebase Project. Just click there to start. Then you'll have to name your project. So you have to give it a unique name and Google will warn you if it's not a unique name. So we'll start by typing our project name. I'll just call it TDP for Tech Design Pilot and Angular app auth, let's say, and see if it's available. Then we have to accept these terms, continue. Then if you would like to enable analytics, you will have some kind of A/B testing, user segmentation and targeting across Firebase product, and so on. So you'll have to set up an analytics account for you, and then you have to choose which account. For me, I just want to do a tutorial, so I don't need that. So I can create the project. So it will take a couple of seconds to create the project. We'll come back when it's done. Now our Firebase project is ready. We just need to click on continue. Then here you have to set up your web application so that you can connect to your Firebase project through web apps. So you just click here and then you name your web application. So I'll call it Angular app. I don't want Firebase hosting, so I can just register this app. Then it will ask you to do install Firebase if you would like to, but you can skip this step because we are going to use Angular Fire, and Angular Fire will make sure to configure everything for us using the command line interface. So in here you can just skip everything there and then just click on continue to console. So now our Firebase authentication is ready to go. I'll just dismiss this. So I have one app that is added, which is my Angular app. I just need to do some settings before I can start using this authentication. So I'll head over to authentication. Then here I have to click on get started so that I create my authentication options, or I configure my authentication service. So click on get started. Then you'll have to select what type of authentication you would like to have. So we'll start with the simple one, which is email and password. So we'll select that and say enable. Then you can say passwordless link enable or disable, doesn't matter, at least for now. So I'll just save. So this is custom email and password. Then we are going to add another provider. So you have a variety of providers. You can start you can use Facebook, you can use Play Games, GitHub, Apple, Twitter, Yahoo, Game Center, Microsoft, and so on. So you have plenty of other providers here. And you can have anonymous if you want the application to be used even with anonymous without accounts. So I'll select Google. Then I'll have to say enable here. After that, it will be selecting a project for me. So that I'll need just to say, this is my email account that'll be used for support. Then I can save. That's it, it's saved. So I have the ability to log in using a custom email and password, or to use a Gmail account to log in or to sign up. That's it for the sign-in method. And we go to settings to make sure that our domain or authorized domain are already there. So you have to have localhost and any domain you would like to host your application in. So for now, by default, you have 3 domains. So localhost for local testing. Then you have this these two domains that are shared by the Firebase project, so they are added by default for you. That's it for the configuration of authentication in Firebase. You just need to go back to your overview, or you can just go to Firebase console to see your new project added here, and you can always see what's going on. And to see who are the users that are logged in or have logged in already to your application, you just go to authentication and you will see them here. Since it's a new project, there is no user added yet. Now that our Firebase authentication service is ready to go, I have already set up the sign-in method. As you can see, I have password, email and password, and Google. And I also made sure that the authorized domains are already in place. So now it's time to build the Angular application and integrate the Firebase into that, or Firebase authentication into that Angular application. And to do that, we just need to install Angular Fire, and Angular Fire will take care of configuring the project for us. So we'll see how easy it is to connect this Firebase authentication service to our Angular project. So we'll first start by creating a new Angular project, and to do that we just say ng new, and we call it Angular Firebase auth, let's say. Then I'd like to have no standalone by default. So I just need to use that flag so that my Angular application is not standalone, or will not be start on standalone mode. So you will choose CSS for this. You can decide to have the SSR, which is the server-side rendering. I can decide not to because I don't need that for now. It takes some time. All done. So now I'm able to start my application. So I'll just say npm, or let me just head to that location first, Angular Firebase auth. Then I'm going to open it in my Visual Studio Code. So the first thing we need to do is to install the Angular Fire, which will take care of doing everything for me. So to do that, you'll just say ng add angular /fire, and this package will take care of configuring the application by selecting the right project for me and selecting the Firebase project that I have created already in my account. But to do that, you have to log into your Gmail account through the CLI, so it will ask you to log in, and then it will take care of selecting the project for you. If you only have one project, you select that project. If you have multiple, you will be able to select any of those Firebase projects that you'd like to use for your Angular application. So I'll just install that. It will ask a couple of questions. And the first one is going to be the package that you'd like to install, which is version 17. I'm okay with that. You say yes. Then it will ask you what kind of service you would like to have. So you can select by typing on space. So I'd like to have authentication, and I might need Firestore in the future, but you don't need it for the authentication. I might just need it for other tutorial. I will just set it up, but you don't need to do that, by the way. So then, since I've selected authentication and Firestore is just a Google database, or Google NoSQL database that you can use to host some information about your user, or about your authenticated user. So I'll just hit enter here. Now it will set up everything for me, and it will ask me to go ahead and use the allow Firebase to collect information. You can say or not, yes or not, so it doesn't matter. And then it will request you to log into your Gmail account so that it finishes the configuration for you. As you can see, it asked me already to provide my consent to log into Firebase within my local system, actually. So I'll just copy this link and go to my Google Chrome, and since I'm already logged in, so it will ask me just to accept that invitation, and then it will say, like, by continue, just say continue here and allow them to use or to access your Firebase project. That's it. So it's done there. Now if I go back to my terminal, I can see that it selects that project that I have set up already in the last video, and I can just select it by using the arrow in my keyboard. So I'll select that TDP Angular app auth, so since I've created in the past video, and then you'll be asked to create a new app or select that same app that I have created in the other video. So I'll just select that same app. Now everything is done for me. So we can check that by going to the module, the main module of our application, and we'll see that it actually provided the Firebase app for me and everything is ready to go. So I just need to go ahead and create the login and the sign up forms, and that's it. So everything is ready because it's created the project and initialized the app for me. So all done by this command line here. So I didn't really need to go and copy anything from Firebase. So all done by the CLI, and it's very, very basic and simple to do, even if you are new to Firebase or Angular. So you don't need to do anything. Now our authentication service is integrated with our Angular, so we can dive into building the UI and building the different components so that we guide the user to log in before he goes to the dashboard of our application. So the main goal is to disallow the user from going to the dashboard of our application until the user logs in or until the user signs up in our authentication service. And to do that, we need to provide two forms, one for the login and the other one for the signups. So once the user signs up, we can redirect the user to that dashboard and it will be allowed. So we are going to use some kind of auth guard to redirect the user to the sign in if the user is not signed in.